Happy New Month! The first quarter of the year 2024 is officially over. It ended at 12 midnight yesterday. And at 12 midnight yesterday, we crossed in to not just a new month, but the second quarter of the year 2024. And we are in the month of April. And then that will be the half of the year, and that's how the year will keep going and going. I think this year is going to be a fast year, so we can get over and done with 2024 already and move on to 2025. Somebody says it's too early to start thinking about 2025. Anyway, how's your mind? How's your body? How's your soul? Happy Easter! And to those of you holidaying, enjoying the public holidays, I hope you're having a great one. If you're not, we're here to make it great for you in our own little way, talking for development. What are we talking about today? Accommodating relatives in a dwindling economy. I had to fade down the music because what we're going to talk about is something a lot of us can relate with. But let me just take it up a bit. Okay. Accommodating relatives in a dwindling economy. You see, this is holiday season for the children. And before now, children looked forward to the holidays because they're either going to be at one favorite uncle's house or one favorite auntie's house or one of their mom's friends or one of their godparents' house, but they're not going to be home during the holidays. They are going to be holidaying. And sometimes they enjoy the holidays so much that if they are within the same city and school resumes, they are reluctant to come back. So much so that the person hosting will call their parents and say, you know what, they don't want to come back. Oh, how we go do and say, oh yeah, now keep them now, better for me, say. Don't worry, I'll drop by on Sunday. I'll bring her school uniforms. I'll bring her school bag. I'll bring her school shoes. You guys can just be dropping her off at school and all of that. Where that's her school, they safe. The school is at Choba. Okay, we'll find a way. And then that is how it does happen. And before you know it, a child that went holidaying ends up staying for more than 3 years. The parents will occasionally come to see them, or they will meet at family gatherings. And then they will go and meet their mommy. So you don't want to come back home, Abby? Mommy is not like that, too. You don't miss home, Abby? No, mommy, I'll come. When will you come? Don't worry, I'll come. And that's how they start living with relatives. At other times, it's not straightforward. How far, how you dey? See as things dey for my side. I beg, let Chineye come and stay with you. Or the person will offer, I see how you're going through a lot. Let Chineye come and stay with me. You mean it? Yes. And before you know it, Chineye starts living with that person. And it's not just for the children. Adults too can sometimes experience a really terrible setback, and they are looking for that one relative or friend who will accommodate them during that trying time. The era where people take in young relatives, raising them along with their children, is gradually coming to an end. At least from what I see and what I've read. The limited purchasing power of every Nigerian at the moment fuels that. It has reduced the living standards, and Nigerians are becoming conscious of how they spend their money. As a result, Nigerians have been sourcing ways to cut the cost of feeding. Economy and Lifestyle discovered that one of such new ways is turning down the adoption or accommodation of close relatives or returning those who had been under their care. You see, before now, Nigerians take turns assisting various family members, particularly those with low economic power. But today, an average family of 5 can hardly fend for themselves, let alone adding a relative. Therefore, an additional member to them is like committing suicide. Can you count on your relative to accommodate you or yours during trying times, considering the dwindling economy? That's question number 1. And I'll ask again. Can you count on your relative to accommodate you or yours during trying times? Would you be open to accommodating anyone this period? Think about it. Would you be open to accommodating anyone this period? 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. Again, 0809 030 6416. Now, let me share with you some people's personal experience. A certain Mrs. Amanda, who is a fashion designer, had complained bitterly about how her niece had returned her daughter, who had stayed with them for 6 years. Last month, my niece called, saying that my daughter, who had stayed with them for 6 years, would be returning home. I thought she was joking, not until I saw her at my doorstep the next day. My niece's action was based on her husband's request, who complained bitterly about the state of the economy. She noted that she had no job to support her husband, which could have made her keep my daughter. She had to succumb. On her path, Mr. Nokoya Sampson, a businessman, said his son was returned to him after spending 3 years with his brother. It is still like a dream. I have a family of 6. My brother was the one who requested I allow my son to live with him so that he can reduce my responsibility. My brother just brought my son to the house without informing me. He said that he and his family are traveling abroad for greener pastures and have sold all they have to acquire their visa and flight tickets. He has 2 children and a wife. I didn't blame him, but was grateful that he even helped me for 3 years. Now I am faced with an extra responsibility. Business is not profiting anymore, but my hope is in God. I believe He will save Nigerians from this horrible situation we have found ourselves in. Then there is also Mrs. Sarah, who is a baker and a widow. She lamented how she will now be faced with catering for 3 children. According to her, after the demise of my husband, his sisters volunteered to take care of 2 of my kids. I agreed. They were taken good care of and attended good schools. If they were with me, I wouldn't be able to afford the fees. But as we all know, the country is not smiling at anyone. Recently, they returned my children with the complaint of a bad economy. Reasons like increased school fees, rent, and low income were given as reasons for returning them. I was very sad, but had to thank them because it is not easy to take care of children in this economy. People can only allow relatives that are working to stay with them because they won't have any burden to bear. Now, I am saddled with the responsibility of taking care of 2 3 children, I beg your pardon, 3 children. I just believe God will surprise me. 0817 923 0002. That is 0817 923 0002. We also have 0817 923 0003. That is 0817 923 0003. Send us a message on WhatsApp or Telegram. Again, the WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 0306416. If you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, do well to send us a message. All right? Send us a message and I will gladly read them. On X, we are at Nigeria Info PH, and Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So you go there, watch us live, and be a part of the conversation. Again, the question I'm asking is, can you count on your relative? If you call on your relative now, do you think they will respond positively? Can you count on your relative to accommodate you or yours during this trying time? And would you be open to accommodating anyone this period? Are you going to be having people over for holidays? Or it's a case of everybody stay in your house? Because the truth is, I don't think there's anyone that wants to be labeled as a bad person. When you are alone, it's possible that you can drink Gary, and people would see you drinking Gary and feel like, okay, that's what he or she feels like eating. When you're bringing someone else into your home and you're suggesting to them to drink Gary, it automatically turns out to mean that you are maltreating the person or you want to suffer the person. So, beyond just putting a roof over their head, can you tend to another person's need? Can you shoulder responsibility? Now, in Nigeria, we have those that are well-to-do, okay? And there are those that are barely getting by each day. So it depends on which category you fall under. The big men, the rich women, are they still willing to take on extra responsibility added to theirs? Now, also, you should know that when you choose to accommodate someone, if the person is younger, you're responsible for a whole lot more than just food and accommodation. That's a roof over their head. What if the person falls sick? The prices of drugs are not cheap, okay? So if the person falls sick, what do you do? I remember some time ago, when I was a child, I think I had gone on holidays with a relative. And I suffered a bit of food poisoning. Yes. I was rushed to the hospital. And then my father was called upon, got to the hospital and told them to remove anything they had put on me. And they said, no, she's not well. He says, take it away. She's not used to this hospital. She will be fine. And they were like, how would you say she'll be fine? She's clearly sick and all of that. So from that hospital, I became fine eventually, but that was the end of the holiday for me. Yes. Now, in this case, it wasn't because they could not foot the hospital bill. It was because they could not understand why my father would not want me to be treated in a hospital. So they would rather not have, to be with a child that even when they can help, they will not be allowed to. So it's best I go back home. Maybe my father had his own ways of taking care of me whenever I fell ill. For some people, when they go on holidays, once the child starts showing some very terrible behavior, they tell the parents and they cook up something. They cannot be straightforward. But you see, those days are now. I think things were a bit better then. So you have more than a child show up for holiday. So if there were 6 children you had, all 6 children were going on holidays. Is it that they were going on holidays to the same house, same destination, or they were going to be spread? Maybe this one will go on holidays here and that and that. But people were open to those ideas. How about now? Is it the same thing? Or would you rather your child stays with you in your house and not go and burden somebody with that whole maybe we can go to your house for holiday thing? Again, the questions are, can you count on your relative to accommodate you or yours if they're going through a trying time? Things are not working well for them. And would you be open to accommodating anyone this period? Again, I think the phone lines are acting up, so you may want to send us a message instead, all right? 0817-923-0002 is one of the numbers to call. 0817-923-0002, and then 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 0809-030-6416. You can also call 0817-923-0009 on X at Nigeria Info PH. Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Okay, and that happens. So what do we do? What do we do? The lines are terrible today. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try 0817-923-0009. Let's see if that one works. 0817-923-0009. And then let's also try the WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. But don't call the WhatsApp number, right? Just send your messages to the WhatsApp number. You can also share your thoughts on X. X is at Nigeria Info PH. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right,
Thank you for this discourse, because it's a reality. Considering the cost of especially commodities, and when people are coming to your home like this, the first point of call is food, where they will eat. And if you cannot afford that, their coming is useless. With the present state, they are trying to take away the African belief. We are known to accommodate our relatives. Africans, we are known for communal living. Come up, we eat together. Come up, we drink together. Come up, we stay together. But with this present situation, I'm not to lie in this way, it's challenging. By the grace of God, we are into the food industry. For the past 3 weeks, it has been a hit. And initially, there are just few women that normally join our staffs to go to job. But you know what happened of recent? Those women now are now coming with their friends and relatives. Now the money they are to be paid, which is 20K per day, they will now share it among themselves. So which means it is one person that was contracted. But this person is coming with 2 or 3 persons. Take gum body, as we call them in our area. Take gum body, so that we will get that money and that little food that they go out. When this information get to me, I was perplexed. Not until I asked my wife, how are you doing it? She said, I then come home and no go keep pursue them. As I'm talking to you now, I'm sure this whole month has been so busy. Now they're in Elgao as I'm talking to you. And they are about normally supposed to be 5 women. The staff should be in their working place while we get others. Now they are close to 10 women instead of 3 or 4. Now the one we contract, we share a salary. A day is 20K with the one she come with. I said, well, it's a good idea, Sha, for you to get about 80,000. You can just split it 10,000. They will go help their family. Look at what they have brought to us. But I want to use this medium. Let's keep living together. If we are together, we will be stronger.
Oh my God. I'm going to be completely honest with you because you see this conversation, it sort of affects me. I was expecting 2 holiday makers this month. And, by the time we looked at the situation of things and all of that, and we understood how these people were children and how even though we don't feel hungry, they would definitely feel hungry. And we do not want to have to settle for less than what we are used to when it comes to food preparation and all of that. We decided to take just 1 holiday maker and promise that when things get better, we'll take on the other one. But 2 holiday makers at a time. People still do it. Those days, holiday season, parents will want to use it as an opportunity to chill. They send the children to the grandmother, the grandparents. Do they still do such now? And when they send the children to the grandparents, they send the children to the grandparents with food stuff. All right? So it's more like they're paying, we won't call it payment. They're appreciating the grandparents for looking out for the children. If the grandparents were well-to-do, oh well, they still will send something, but that does not mean it is that something they send the children with, that the grandparents will use to feed the children till after the holidays. I hope you understand. Someone says, no, I don't want to bother nobody. People now accommodate the people they are in relationship with instead of their family members. They see family members as a burden, but their relationship pips a necessity. Those days, during holidays, we used to go stay with our grandparents in the village. We didn't need to bother about food because our grandparents were farmers. Now, grandparents are waiting for pension from government, so hunger will finish our children now. Ernest from Woji. This one says, greetings Denise, if everywhere is stew, why would my children go for holidays elsewhere? I mean, to go and mingle, to go and experience other children, to go and have fun. Back then, when we go on holidays, when we come back, the very first English assignment we usually would look at is how I spent my last holidays. And it is this traveling to another destination that makes it possible for us to have something to write down. And that's our, is it composition or be comprehension? Someone says a basic basing of Gary is 12,000. A bag of rice is 75,000. A rubber of beans is 7,000. A bag of pure water is 400 naira, etc. Guess the salary. Nigerian Info. Good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
I'm a small boy. I used to learn work, but as I am with my parents, this is too hard. So I manage. Even sometimes, some morning, I will not eat and go to work. But anytime I come back, if I see that I see.
Wow. This is wow.
So that is how the thing is. And in the way I see things, I cannot go to holidays. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. Wow. Would I be open to accommodating some folk? No. Purely because I remember how some relatives behaved shortly after I got married. I no longer ignore my instincts about anyone. I no longer pretend to be colorblind when a person's true colors are shown. I no longer succumb to any emotional blackmail attempts to forgive and forget. The days of me setting myself on fire to warn people who don't even wish me well are over. If someone did me or my other half dirty, especially in the early days of our marriage, whether they did it out of envy or they were paid to, I don't want them in my house. And I don't want their kids in my house, even on a visit. Not to talk of holiday. Anonymous, send that in. We'll go on the final commercial break for this hour, and when we come back, we round up the conversation. It's still the sunny side right here in number one station for Chalk 92.3 Nigerian for FM. We're talking accommodating relatives in a dwindling economy. Stay tuned. Questions I am asking are: can you count on your relative to accommodate you or yours during trying times? And would you be open to accommodating anyone this period?
You no longer have to miss any moment of the action. Listen to us from anywhere in the world. Download the
To the sunny side, I feel like I'm taking maybe one more call and read the final messages before we round off. Nigerian Fair, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
My name is Amaka Ozo.
Amaka Ozo, you're welcome.
To say about this harsh economy. The reason is Christianity and the Islam, they are the problems that we have. This Christianity and the Islam, they are the problems that we have in Nigeria.
How does that concern accommodating somebody? So?
If our leaders are sworn in to office with the gods of the land, just like us pack, since the coming of us pack, there is almost absolute sanity everywhere. If to say this, our leaders will be saying people are crying.
Hello. Excuse me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
With the gods of the land.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay.
I think she doesn't understand. Maybe she meant to call another radio station and dialed us or something, but that's definitely not the conversation. Okay. I think this is a good place to round off. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. The truth of the matter is, it's not easy anywhere at all. And as much as you think it's very, very hard for you, it's worse for some other person. So if you can lend a helping hand, please, by all means, continue to lend a helping hand. You may not be able to accommodate, but you can reach out in one way or the other by buying stuff. To help that your sister who is struggling with children, or help her with a certain amount every month to be able to look after for herself and her children. Nigerian friend, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, yeah, my name is Dwindling. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome. You have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I think the discussion is a good one. Like, as you are rounding up the things that you said, I have somebody that stays with me. The person is not actually related at all, but then I felt that this person is family. To an extent, we also pay our salary for our upkeep.
Wow.
Yeah, so what I'm just trying to say this is that how the economy is, if you can feed 4, if you can feed 3 or maybe extra 1 after your family and you feel that this is what you can do, you can reach out. But however, if you cannot, you don't need to displease your family to maybe please another family. I could remember what you discussed last week or within the week.
Democracy is the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Nigeria Info.